It's a beautiful day, and I'm excited to welcome Christina Crooks for episode number 2 of Happiness Factors, the bridge between the holistic best of the East and West. Christina is an ontologist coach and the founder of Empowered Human LLC. She helps a variety of leaders and creatives and lots of other people with her coaching and her speaking, and wants to create an amazing, memorable brand which helps people find themselves. And without further ado, I would like to welcome Christina and tell us more about what she does being an ontologist coach, because I'm very sure, like me, many of the people haven't heard about it before. Christina.
Thank you, Anita. Thank you for inviting me and having me here. I'm grateful to be here.
Thank you for making the time for us.
Absolutely. So an ontologist studies ontology, and ontology is the art and science of being a human being. So I help people to distinguish how they're relating to their reality, how they're relating to time, how I'm relating to you now, how I relate to this kombucha I'm drinking and what my mind decides it is, how I relate to time. So we distinguish how together I help the client or the coachee, however you want to say it, distinguish in their reality how they are relating to everything, whether it's an intangible thing and an abstract item, or it's a physical thing like money or a person. So in a nutshell.
Oh, nice. So if I understand it correctly, it's basically the relationship people have between themselves and anything outside of them.
Yes, because
else,
here's the thing that I help them with the most. And this is why ontology is my jam, because ontology helps us get really clear where we're coming from. And when people are aligned inside, when they're aligned here, then they can have inspired action and their external doings will match how they're showing up here. But if they're out of whack here, whether you see, for me, I see it as chakras. So if you're out of whack in your chakras, it's not going to make sense externally. So you might have a smile on your face and you're relating to someone in a positive way, but maybe it feels awkward to you or to them.
Yeah.
For a number of different reasons. But the very first thing I do is help people meet themselves where they are, get authentic with what that is and accept what that is.
Yes.
And we go through 3 pillars. We go through acceptance of what is, responsibility for their response to what is, and trust in their ability to make enlightened choices in the future.
Nice.
So it's acceptance, responsibility, trust.
So acceptance, responsibility, and trust. Love it. So tell me, how do you describe yourself in 3 words?
Oh, I am love.
Awesome. That's amazing. You are love. So what's your favorite word?
I like to think of myself as a linguist, and so I love words. So you asking me my favorite word is really difficult to answer. I would say in this now moment, my favorite word is compassion.
Nice. And what does compassion mean to you?
It means grace for others. It means the same as my acronym for love, which is let others voluntarily evolve. It reminds me that we're all having our own very individual experience of what life is, and there is no one way to do life. There are many ways.
I totally agree. And that's a beautiful explanation, because even for the same word, like different people feel it different, right? Even the word love, like some people think, oh, love if I'm in a relationship. Some people will say, oh, I feel love when I have a lot of money, or some people will have some other definition, right? So even though it's the same word, like unless we really know the person, we don't really know what they mean by that particular word.
Well, unless we ask.
Yes. That's
so for me as a coach, that's the very first thing I'm going to ask when someone says what they want. If they say, I want to make more money, I'll say, tell me what that looks like for you.
That's amazing. Yes.
If they say, I want to find love in my life, and I'll say, tell me what that means to you. What does that mean? Describe it for me. Give me an example of what that looks like 3 years from now.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's interesting that you bring up a relationship with that, because most people think that love is a romantic, intimate relationship. But
True.
love to me, and I think you and I agree on this, we've talked before, love is this clearing. It's compassion. It's this space that's beyond rightness and wrongness and good and bad and good and evil. It's beyond that. It's this clearing of everything is okay here.
Yes, that's beautiful. So tell me about your first moment in your memory when you felt love.
In love in the way I describe it now.
Either describe it now or any memory of where you really felt the love inside you.
As far as a specific memory, the first time that I felt love, but I didn't have the words for it then. I have the words for it now, and would probably be when I was 4. And I didn't think of it as, oh, this is love. I thought of it as, it was this moment where it was before The Matrix came out, the movie The Matrix. And I remember touching a wall, and I know I was 4 or 5 because of where we lived at the time, and my sister was a baby. And I remember touching the wall and thinking, what if none of this is real? What if this is made up in my mind? And I was 4. But the way I see love now, love is that everything is possible. And love is belief in myself and trust that I can create the life I want in every moment, in every decision that I make. And that was my first experience of that, when really I thought for a long time it was just me philosophizing early on and questioning reality, which plays really well into me finding ontology, because that's the very nature of that work, is what is reality to you as Anita?
Yes.
What is reality to me as Christina? And to the listener, whoever is here listening with us later, what is reality to you?
Yeah. No, that's really gives people not just a new thought process to think about, but also, of course, makes them more open. Like not just think it's my way is the right way, right? There are lots of different ways to everything. So
Yes.
what are you excited about right now? What
Did
are
that
you
answer your question though?
Yes, it did answer my question. It's your memory, so there's no right or wrong answer.
Yeah, I relate to love so much differently now than I did 5 years ago. And love to me is that clearing. So what I'm excited about now, a couple things. Should I just pick one?
Up to you. We have time.
All right. I'm excited that I made a declaration that this is the year that I will be paid to speak. So I'm excited about that declaration. I'm excited that on Clubhouse, the social audio app, I'm building a team of moderators to run powerful conversations that challenge people's thinking, but still provides a safe space for them to explore that.
Nice.
And the last thing that I'm really excited about is I'm building a program called Panther Prosperity that's all about how women build wealth. And the feminine, how the feminine builds wealth. And it's different than the masculine. And we're incorporating animal medicine into that program. So it's, I'm really excited to keep building that.
Nice. Excited for you for that. So my
Thanks.
next question is a little bit different than what I've asked you so far. My next question is, how would your friends and family describe you?
I've asked them before. And the common description is energy, energy, energy.
Awesome. No wonder we got along.
Yeah, so lots of energy. Some have said like an exploding star. Others have said very passionate and loving to talk. That's how
I agree with all
family.
three. And they call me the Energizer Bunny who never runs out of energy.
Yeah, I can definitely get tired. And but when I'm talking about things I love, it's just a well of love that keeps going.
So we are almost running out of time, but I have one last question from you. What are some of the things you would like to share with listeners as a key takeaway from our conversation today about ontology, about love, or about anything else you are passionate about?
Ontology is really focused on questions and curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
So for the listeners, I would say, ask yourself questions about your life.
Yes.
What is reality to you? What is love to you? How does that show up? What are you listening for? That's a big one that I ask people. What are you listening for? Are you listening for what you're afraid of? Are you listening for what could go wrong? Are you listening for what you're grateful for? What are you searching for? And notice how your brain is responding to life around you. Are you reacting to it or responding to it? Are you coming from a well of you, or are you waiting to just react to whatever happens around you? And being able to replace, so if you take nothing else from this conversation, I hope that you take curiosity and you look at your life and going, how am I showing up? How am I reacting? What am I noticing about me? And there are two questions that I'll give our listeners. What's working in your life and what's not?
That's very important to know and make a list of it, right?
And keep coming back to that. Whenever you feel, why isn't this thing working? Make a side-by-side list and write down what's working in your life and what's not. And you'll real quickly find out where you're in alignment and where you're not.
That's very important. I totally agree. And I also like to, in my personal life, I also like to add another thing to it. What would I like to replace it with?
Yes.
And then see what kind of emotions, intuitions you're getting about it and change it accordingly. And that I learned part of the Silva method, by the way. So, but I apply like a little bit of everything, right? But I'm so glad that you mentioned most of the times when things are happening, people either blame themselves, blame someone else, or just like feel bad about it, but they never try to question why is it happening, or they don't try to think, okay, what can I learn from this, right? Which is the most important thing from anything. And that's what keeps life going and keeps it happy and full of love. So with that, I'm afraid we'll have to end because we are at the last minute of our conversation. But thank you so much for making the time to talk to us today. And I wish you all the success for ontology as well as for all the other ventures you are embarking on. And to viewers, let us know what other things you would like to listen to us talk about on our Happiness Factors podcast, where we discuss everything mental wellness, mind, body, spirit, holistic methodologies, and any new methodologies which can help with the whole mind, body, spirit, or the emotional state of individuals. And with that, I would like to say namaste. This is Anita signing off with Christina Crooks, the ontologist coach from Human Empowered, right?
Empowered Human.
Sorry, Empowered
All
Human
good.
LLC. And I'm looking forward to see you guys in the next episode. Thank you.
Thank you.